Right, people. Let's see. I'm going to try and find everybody. Let's see if anyone's live there. Yeah. Okay. They'll start coming on. Hi, Beth. Okay, one's on. I'm waiting for the other girls to show up. One's on. Hi, people. Gonna be fun. So that's what I love about TikTok. This, being able to chat and meet people and collaborate, and share your stories. It's so cool. It's such a nice thing that you can actually, just network with other people all over the world and share, Okay, who else? One. Okay, wait. I'm waiting for the other girls as well. Hang on. We're nearly there. 1 minute to go. Hi, people. Hello. Yeah, I love, hearing other people's stories and sharing. You share your experiences and stories with people. It's so cool. It's such a lovely thing, in that ways people can work together and collaborate. And okay, almost. Nearly time. Nearly time. What are we doing on 1 minute? One done. I'm waiting for the others. No. Okay. No. Come on. Okay. That's there. Okay, let's get you on. See what the other girls are on. They should be joining us. Hey.
Hello.
Hello, darling. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, good. I want to now just see. And I'm going to add on. Okay. Now, how do we add the others on now? That's the thing.
Let's try to add co-host. Or
Invite.
we can. Yep.
Okay, no, it doesn't want to let me invite now. Invite another host to go live, so we can't.
We can try. Let's co-host maybe.
No. What's this? No.
Nope, that's.
No, you've just added me. I'm gonna see if I can add the others now. I don't know how we add the others now.
Okay.
So let's say I don't know if you can actually add them as if you can add them. Hang on, let me just go back. I'm going to disconnect quickly, and then I'm going to go back and see if I can add everyone. That's other, because I've seen people do it. I'm thinking you've got to be able to do it. Come on, hang on.
We'll try.
Just hang on.
No problem.
Okay. Oh.
Disconnect.
Now let me try. Where's everybody else? Who else is there? Okay, guys, can you send me requests? Ash, can you send me a request to join? Okay, and Vanessa, can you send a request to join? Because you're allowed to add 3 guests. Yes, you see, there we are. We are. Now that's how we do it. Okay. Perfect. Hey, Vanessa, you there? Ash is online.
Where's my face?
I don't have a clue. I'm trying to see. I've got you. You're like, I've got the screen on the bottom here.
Maybe I needed to click the camera. I think because I think I did it wrong. Sorry.
I know. But Ash, okay, Vanessa and Beth, send me a request, like a visitor, like a guest, like not a co-host, but a request to join the live, because you can have 3 guests as a guest. There's a difference. You can't co-host. Add guests. All right. I've got Ash on as a guest. Send me a request as a guest. Beth and Vanessa. Yes. Okay, add guests. Connect. Okay, now you're back again. This is an experiment of that. Hello, darling. How are you?
Hello.
Oh, it's so cool to see. Now waiting for the others. They've got to send us a request. Let's send them a message, Because I've never done this before. I've never gone with more than one, exactly. But I've seen people do it. So I thought, okay, you definitely can go live with more than one person. Okay, so I must just say, okay.
It's a little infinity symbol down by your comments that I clicked on.
Yeah, exactly. You can send a request to join the live. Yeah, exactly. That's through a little loop thing. Yeah, that's it. But you see, what I tried, we added a co-host. If you add a co-host, it didn't work. Because you're only allowed one host, but you're allowed 3 guests. So I'm like, oh, this is cool. Okay. Hang on, I'm going to just send them a request.
Okay.
And then I'm going to check if they send it. Okay, let's have a look if they're there. Because normally someone sends it, pops up. Hang on. Okay, add guests. Let's see if it's there. No, there's only a request from you. You see, add up to, so you can add another. You can add people anyway. Girls, if you're out there, send a request to join, please. All right. So, Ash, it's so good to connect with you. I've been following you for a while. I love people. That's what I like about TikTok. You can meet cool people all over the world. You know what I mean? You can interact, and you're so yourself. I liked about your energy. You're just yourself. You're just there. You just do your thing, and you've got this. I loved it. So
Thank
I like
you.
it. And this is what's nice about it. It's collaborating because you can tell people, like I see nice people, I say, go and follow that person, share that page. And if you're looking for something, it's not about me, myself, I. So I try and get people to follow other people and, go watch that channel, go here, because you can't learn from one person. And this collaborating and this thing is so cool. So I've been dying. I thought, okay, I've got to talk to her because I love your energy and and you're doing your thing and you're doing your readings online and you've really grown. It's so nice to watch because I've been watching for a while.
You.
I shared your stuff. I shared your page a while back and I said, go and follow this girl because I liked your energy back then and I watched and you've been going. You're doing so well. I'm so happy.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate that.
You're welcome, darling. But that's it. This is what it's about. People have got to say, it's about collaboration and sharing. So that's exactly why I wanted you girls on to hear your stories. Because you know what dawned on me, right? What crossed my mind the other day is I was reflecting that just watching, like you doing this, you're drawn to do reading. Some people are drawn to do healing. Some people are drawn, they're doing light codes and all kinds. People are doing sound work. So it shows you now, according to our cash or our past lives or whatever, one or more of them is coming up quite prevalent. So I'm very curious to see if you've can you kind of identify past lives you've had? No, they're not sending me a thing to join yet. Can you identify in past lives why you are doing what you're doing now? You see, okay, yes, this is what I want to see. Oh, really? Okay, share some past lives because I'm thinking, okay, why? I'm doing this, and I'm thinking, okay, why am I drawn to my, and I'm watching you're doing the tarots and doing this, and everyone's drawn to do something. It's got to be, obviously, those past lives or that experience is more prevalent now or something. So share, please, what past lives are you, that are prominent now?
The prominent now? Oh, goodness. Let me think. Probably the one that I utilize the most of my own wisdom and knowledge from would be my connection to dragons, for sure.
Oh, really?
Say day to day the most.
Yeah. Past lives? Now, have you seen past lives? Have you gone back to past lives where you were a dragon or interacted with them or any sort of timeline you got? Have you? Cool.
Oh yeah, I was a full on fire breathing dragon.
Oh really? So cool.
Yeah.
But now you can't. Timeline. I don't know how far it goes back. You can't. Can you link it to a planet at all?
There's a few planets that I did. And there's certain dragon energy that is residing in a lot of the nebulas as well. So it has a lot of connection to cosmic energy and not being fully physical. But a physical incarnation I had again was on Andromeda. And then I also had one on Orion. But I connect a lot more with Orion Nebula than the Andromeda one.
So you're going back here because that's a lot older. Those are a lot older. They were seeded. So now they seeded down, and then Nocturians, and then they seeded the Palladians, and then they seeded us, and it's gone. So you're going back billions. Yeah, that's going back quite a way. I even got back to the sun, where we were beings on the sun. So we're going back, billions of years. Because if the Palladians are a million years old, and what you were talking about now, funny enough, I saw that today. I saw Hubble telescope. You know, they're taking a picture, but it looks like the hand of God. They got a fantastic picture. It looks like a hand of God energy. We know about the the black holes and stuff. I saw, the Milky Way. If you go up there, it's amazing. I saw some of those, and I thought, yep. I told people, go up there and see it from there. It's incredible. It's not what you look up here and look like white stars. It is so freaking awesome. Okay, yeah, I go back. Okay, so give me some more past lives. You know, like the reading, the cards, and all this sort of stuff. It's any other past lives? Which one?
I don't really share my personal stuff. Let me see, because I have stuff that I'm not supposed to be open about. But let me see if there's anything that they're gonna let me share about here. Let me see.
Yeah. Past lives and whatever, Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to... Oh, we're breaking out. Somebody said, hello,
Okay.
hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I hear like feedback. Like I can hear what I said like 5 minutes ago. It's weird. I don't know if you guys hear that.
I must check then, because I don't. Yeah, I can pick up something. It's looping, but I know we're having issues with the internet. So, there any other ones you can? Okay, any ET experiences? I'm curious, just to share with people, because a lot of people don't know ET experiences, past lives. You know that you can, because you can kind of figure out where your skills and what's driving you in this life, and then any other, which are the most prominent ET interactions or astrals you've been on that are, the ones that are most like wow, or interesting, or you learned from, or
I really connected with the Arcturians when I was first really getting into that. And then these beings that I encountered that were called Onyx beings, had a lot of information be integrated from them. When I first ever started like generating a connection with ETs, it was the Pleiadians that came through, but I didn't work with them nearly as long as I did the Arcturians.
It's funny. That's why I'm just saying. That's why I wanted to bounce it off different girls, because you notice this one. So people are whatever past lives prominent or whatever the mostly. So some are remembering a lot of those lives, the ET. Some are more the shamanic things or whatever. And you can see this is what's. Well, we also look as a plan. We all have a lot of these things, but we all need it at the moment for different things. We all did the same thing. It wouldn't work out. So we all doing our little bit here. So some are pulling up more than others. I mean, my shamanic roots are really coming out in this life. And ones are basically a guider, like teacher, like a leader, and my shamanic things are very, very prominent. They're coming out. But those lives seem to be, they're pulling out. I mean, if I go back, I've seen quite a few, but as far as the ones that are relevant that seem to be coming up now, I've been doing a lot of work on earth and elements and working with the elements and becoming part of the water, the air, bloody word. Yeah. All right. There we are. You're joining. Yay.
There we
Ash,
go.
yes, you go to that. Okay, now I'm waiting for Ash to appear. Ash?
I don't see Ash now. Where is she?
Oh, there she is. She's coming up
there
now.
she is. Ash, do you see the
Yeah,
you're
I'm finding
there,
it
but
fascinating. No,
there's a way to there's a camera, and you can hit the camera and come on. Okay. I don't think you have. Thank you so much, Alice. Thank goodness for our sister Alice, who taught me how to do this, because I was on my live.
Oh, the first time I did a live, I had no freaking clue. It took me about 10 minutes.
This was only my second time. Hi, Ash.
Okay,
Good to see you.
And now all we're waiting for is, I don't know what happened to Vanessa.
It was really weird. When I came back on, I was seeing the live as if I was still in it. So it's definitely pretty delayed for some reason.
Oh, wow. Really? Is it incoming? Well, I see you've been very up to date with keeping up to date with the energies and what's coming in, Ash. Is it, I think there was another incoming, not that bad though.
Another M class happened today, yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Are we going to be sleeping much? No.
Probably not.
Well, there we are. I wanted to ask you girls, I wanted to share some stories. Beth, you got some to share with us? Because I was curious. I'm trying to figure out how, what's driving me. Because I've been, what the kind of things that I've been doing and working on the earth as well, besides, publicly sharing stories. Mine is guiding, I've been channeling messages from source about the collective, like about humanity. I've been seeing like on a big thing, what's coming forward to earth, what's happening, this is going to happen next year, that, all that kind of thing. But it's not on individual play. I've never been drawn for that. And then shamanic stuff, majorly, I've been done lots of work on earth. So tell us, I'm trying to figure out, can you connect, like what are you doing now with past lives? Like, that you can see, they're quite prominent. Yes?
Very much so.
I'm trying to see.
Yes, just because I'm moving into this, my master number is 7, so it holds a very avoidant energy. So I had to search for my shadows. So I used Frank Alper's system through soul contracts. I don't know if you're familiar. Have you seen the Moses Code? Of course, Ash.
Big time.
So
I love
it's a way. Yeah, me too. And it's a way to find my shadows.
Yeah.
So that's how I was able to get rid of all the blocks that I had, and a lot of them were from past lives.
Yeah.
I couldn't even speak into a microphone. Like, it took me a while. My friends would voice message me, and I didn't even want to do that. I had to step into a different, the version of ourselves that we don't always see, and it was hidden beneath many, many, many
and attachments and all kinds of shit, that happened to you around
right?
here.
Yeah.
Well,
in this life alone.
Between the two of you, can I ask you something? Did you have a lot of bad ET, like, okay, we've all been a few wars. There have been so many freaking beings, and we played so many planets, which we've annihilated before we even got here. So we have been through other wars on other planets. Absolutely, I know that. I've seen plenty of them. But now, do you guys, curiously, when you had this thing now, did you have some, ET shit you had to sort out, and attachments or any other nonsense that you had to clear in this when you, yeah, me too. I had a lot of shit.
I've not always been the good guy.
But that's the thing. None of us have. We've paid. But that's what people don't understand. They always say, oh, no, I'm this, I'm Octarian, I'm, now. But you forget, part of being part of Source, but you want to experience everything. We have all played good, bad, been the victim, been the murderer, everything. And you know how many planets and lives we've played. Oh, so don't think everybody. If you've experienced love, you've experienced hate. All versions of existence. That's the point. So we could grow. Yeah, no, I did as well. I mean, some terrible things came up. I was like, oh, bloody hell, not pleasant ways to be.
I purposely don't ask for details. I say, show me what I need to see. Yeah. I've seen too much. I really I don't like to attach to it or identify as. I just, show me what I need to see to heal. That's what I always set as an intention.
Yeah, but when they dig into a cache, sometimes they are like, wow, some stuff in there that's really been hectic. But it doesn't bother me, because remember, so when they tell me, I see, like, oh, hell, what they did to me, I was like, oh, that's another life. Remember, we all knew that. Same as applies with this life. If you dropped in here, you knew exactly what you got a timeline. You had a basic plan, layout. Okay, I'm going to do that. You go in there, and I'm going to die like this or whatever. Mm-hmm. You had some sort of thing. I mean, you can go off it and go further or back. It doesn't matter. But you knew. So if I was there and I saw what happened to me then, oh shit! I used to get abducted all the time because I was the other ETs were. I was like a hot property because of my brain, because of the design I had, whatever I'd chosen. So, yeah, they wanted to get my abilities and power. So they used to often abduct me and, and do all kinds of things to me as an ET. So I wasn't very lucky. They pulled me off this planet a few times. I was like, oops. And I've had a couple of issues, even, on this planet. But, yeah, so when I was shown that, like, oh, so what, forgive them? Because, I know I would have allowed that. I wouldn't have been in that. I wouldn't have connected. I put myself in that position. I allowed that to happen, or it wouldn't have happened.
It was a plan.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Everything
Absolutely.
is fine. We're all part of Source. Everything, all these wars and planets we destroyed and sides we played was a part we played. That's all. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So don't stress about it. I don't stress.
Absolutely.
So dig. What past lives? And more, like I'm saying, because you're also doing tarots and reading, aren't you? Hey.
The synchronicities are so interesting to me.
Yeah.
You and I, Honor, my friend just sent me one of your videos, and it helped me so much because of your fearlessness.
Me?
With Ashley, yes, definitely. And with Ashley, we've been in Salem at the same time. I've watched a bunch of your lives. It's so interesting. And with Vanessa, Crystal Consciousness,
yes,
she's been on a live with me with our brother Robin Asiel, who I do mystery school with every single Sunday, who we're together all, like I'm always connecting with him. So when you ever said that, I was like, wow, this is a really interesting combination.
Yes.
And I haven't necessarily, I mean, I do know my past lives. I haven't necessarily gone into the ET thing, though, but I think it's so fascinating.
Haven't you? Haven't you seen ET past lives or kind of, other...
ET Arcturian, yes, sort of, but glimpses. Nothing that I can, there's so much to spirituality. Everything that I've gone into, every path. I'm into soul contracts, certain things, but I'm not always attracted to the ET. I mean, I love it. I love Arcturian life, the higher self. I love that. But yeah.
I find it's a phase you go through because it depends also what they want to show you and what's relevant to now. So you'll get past lives and you'll get those attributes. They'll come up. Reason because you're going to use them or to let you know you can do. I've had some wacky ones. I'm still trying to figure out. I was supposed to have been Poseidon. You know Poseidon? Yeah, I don't know exactly what people said.
Yep.
Don't think negative. But it was so interesting. I had some really interesting. And I met my friend online who was Atlas, the first so-called ruler of Atlantis. Yeah, that was my... Yes. We connected up in this life. A lot of us from Atlantis connected up in this life, and that was my child, my son. And I don't really remember. I've seen one or two things. It looks like really weird. We were on a much higher dimension there. You can see that was the original Atlantis, the first one. There were about a few of them that just didn't work out. But the original one was a much higher frequency and vibration. Oh, there she is. She's finally here. Okay, I've sent you the invite, Crystal. Put your camera on.
I'm eating the flowers.
Yay!
Sorry, my cat's eating my flowers. Stop it.
She's there, no camera or anything. Oh, there we are. She's coming up.
Hey.
Hi, Crystal. Your camera's not on yet, though.
I know. Hold on, let me see if I can work this out.
How do you put the camera on? I'm trying to see. Oh, so, okay, she's going to come back then.
You have to push the button. You have to, I messed that up.
Yeah, there's a button to the left.
Is there a button on somewhere you're going to push?
There's a button to the left. Yep, it's just a camera and it has it X'd out. I don't think you, Honor, but
Crystal, there's a button to the left. There's a camera button.
Okay.
Hey.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Oh, great. I'm so glad to meet up with you girls. You are just all wonderful girls. I've been following you for a while. And I love your energy, and I just love your... there's always a reason why you're connected, and it's interesting why I chose this group. So apparently you seem to know each other or something. You have something in common, whatever, I don't know. Who knows?
Yes.
Something.
Yep.
I guess you're frozen for me, but I can still hear you. Can you guys see me?
Yeah,
I can see it perfectly, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that does matter then.
Great. Maybe give it a minute.
Yeah. But I'm just trying to dig out everybody out. Ashley's told us a bit, and I'm going to dig some more. Okay, we're trying to figure out, because I see you've got a lot of connections, ladies, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, which one are yours, and what is coming up in your past lives now? Because if it's not ET thing, is it shamanic? What past lives are getting you to do what you're doing now?
Well, sorry, you want my connection to the Pleiades?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out, because all of you, right? I'm trying to figure out.
How we're connected.
I said to me, I looked at it, okay, what's pushing me now? What, that's aspects, like I'm coming forward and what with information and what kind of work I'm doing since I've woken up.
I'm getting Arcturus, higher self, Arcturus, higher self, Arcturus. That's all I'm getting. That's all. I don't know.
From you?
Well,
that's all. That's what's going on right now. That's it. Yeah, that's all I keep hearing.
Well, what's funny is I have no Arcturian lives, but I do have an Arcturian collective that are guides to me.
Isarat is the name that I'm getting, which is my higher self name, which has come through to me before.
Yeah.
So, and maybe that's Arcturian, maybe that's the Arcturus thing.
Well,
Your
Arcturus
higher
is
self is
parents of the
Reina,
Palladians,
right?
so yeah, just grandparents. So they get kind of our
Okay.
grandparents. And you, Crystal, what is yours? You've got mainly your Palladian lives that are coming through. You basically very focused on the ET side. So that's very prominent in this life for you, or you've been driven forward by that. Huh?
Definitely. Yeah, my higher self, her name is Reina, and she's a Pleiadian from the planet Era off the Taygeta star in the Pleiades.
Okay. So that's basically is that the most of it? So most of the, so let's not say channeling, but the things that are coming through to you, and you also remember what we focus on is what we see as well. Because at the beginning I was very focused on the whole ET thing, and all I saw was, oh shit, ET. I was everywhere, and then I was focused on the history of Earth, and then I kind of went off that. So yours I see is very predominant on the ET side and very much Palladian. So you basically working with those guys at the moment, mostly and channeling them.
Yes, I have Arcturian guides, but I don't think I have any. I don't know. I don't remember any Earth lives of mine, so I suspect this is probably one of my first ones. So I think that's why. Huh?
Have you asked? Maybe you should ask.
I have asked. You know how guides are. Sometimes
Later.
they reveal stuff to you, sometimes they don't. Especially, it's funny with clients too. When I speak to spirit guides, sometimes they'll not answer me on things because they'll be like, that client's not ready for it, or it's just not the time. And I always find that really interesting.
So I'm trying to see if you had any past lives, because normally people when their first time on Earth, they don't know how to play Earth. The whole Earth game is so different that they normally cock up, and they normally don't do very well their first life here because it's a whole different freaking ball game. This place. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, really? So I wonder. So basically, you okay? Because I mean, I see now what you're doing. What are you doing? Past life regressions, hey?
Me? No, I'm a psychic medium, but I'm one of my strongest psychic gifts is I remote view, so I can remote view people's past lives as well.
Yeah, that's what maybe okay. So you don't know because that was mine. Very very apt at remote viewing. Wow, I can drop in. I was dropping into beings on Mars. I can drop into other beings.
Oh, I believe it. I think honestly, I think remote viewing is a skill we essentially all have. You just gotta practice. Honestly, any psychic gift, if you practice it, because I feel like our society, if we started kids in like kindergarten practicing psychic gifts, they'd kind of build up those muscles and they'd be like adept by the time they're adults, you know?
Yeah. Now I was dropping into other beings on other things, and that got people's attention because they were like, "Well, how do you manage to do that?" But because, as I say, when I found out from Marita as well that one of my first lives was I was quite a special being. So the brain, I don't know, whatever. It was kind of a brain that allowed me to do this and jump timelines and do. So it was quite a unique thing, which it used to be, other ETs used to try and. But I did have, even now, actually, in this life, because of what I was doing, and I think also it was quite public, what I was up to, and I was on. So I got my brain scanned, actually, physically scanned, which is interesting. And I was like, I knew they were scanning my brain because they were curious to see, well, the abilities. Because of how I managed to do it. Because of the trauma. Now these were other beings, not even, they were scanning my brain not too long ago, last year. So because of the trauma I went through. So they were curious, thinking, okay, they wanted to check out, because of all the trauma I'd been, that part of the brain was working, but it seemed some other parts of my brain were far more prevalent, put it that way. So what did you say? Seeing you guys are psychics and readers, I'm sure I'll give you permission to view that. And you're able now to see who scanned the brain of mine. You'll know. You'll see, yeah. They decided, we want to have a look at this woman and see, just curious. It's observing what was going on. I'm like, okay, well, how's she? But it goes back to one of the first bodies that I dropped into.
Interesting. Can I ask what your ET history is? Do you know your starseed origins?
Well, when I asked my higher self once, one of my first ones was Vega. I think it was Vega. I remember myself. I mean, I saw that. I didn't even know there was a planet called Vega. I was like, I thought I'd heard that wrong. I was thinking Vega. Okay, well maybe that was wrong. Who knows? Just leave it. And I ignored it. And then I've had interactions. Well, you know if you know that your guides are you, past they were, everything you see is actually you. So you think that your guides, you'll find out they're actually you. So those are lives you're having that you are channeling, your higher self. So I wrote interactions with beings on the sun, which is very interesting. You know, and that was a whole, yeah, planet and a half, and there's only 6 left in the, well, not physical, but in the sun center. So it probably did come, I don't know, I was on the sun as well. And I've had other ones, but I don't know what they were. You know, there's a picture I shared of those blue beings. Now, when I was part of my awakening and working with them, asking, I think, for DNA or to help, I mean, I remember these blue beings. It was, you know, they say missing time. I don't know. Anyway, you guys can view it if you want. You're welcome. But I remember I was asking them for help, Octarian, Palladian, whatever they were. I don't have a freaking clue. I can't remember. And these beings basically sort of zapped me up to their ship, and they were doing something. They were, I don't know, recalibrating my DNA, working on my physical body, trying to help me. And then I remember, I was like, oh my gosh, it was like the weirdest thing. I could feel it, but the weirdest thing was I could physically feel them. Like, you know, I was like, oh, so like maybe you could actually physically feel them working on you. It was really strange. Can you shake your head? Yeah. And they were blue. Now, they had not physical bodies, but like light bodies. I mean, there's very, and I was so upset. I was like, oh my gosh, because it was my family. I was in tears almost because the minute they were there, it was like, oh my gosh, you knew that it was like, they were like family. I was so overwhelmed by it. It was like, oh my gosh, family, that, you know, I missed them. It's like, I felt such a longing and so I haven't a freaking clue who the hell they were though. Which planet they were from. I was so upset because it was like, I felt like, oh, I was like, my gosh, my family, where have you been? I missed you. You know, it was like, wow, like a family reunion in a way. So I haven't tried to focus on it. Well, you know, I was a merman. That was weird. That was such a nice, laughy laughing. But I was a merman on another planet. It was a cool planet there. Didn't have blue sky at all. And I was a man, and I had quite a nice life, and I became an older. It was very peaceful. What amazing, what an interesting flippin' being. And, you know, you don't look like the mermaid you see in the movies here. I mean, totally different. It was like these funny long antennas coming off your head, sort of like a rainbow type body, like sort of half fish. And my man with the hairy chest, it was like so weird. I was like, wow, this is interesting. So yeah, those were those. Come on, girl.
Were you on Sirius?
Were
you on Sirius?
I don't never asked. I wouldn't know. I don't know. I didn't ask. Possibly, I wouldn't have a freaking clue. And I was chased a lot. I was abducted here in the 18th century by ETs off the planet. And when I was I never finished one American Indian life as a shaman. You know, I was like, I think it was the Marian times, because we were going between light bodies and physical bodies. We could actually move between a physical body and light body. And I used to run with the wind, and I was in practice to be the shaman. You know, the same thing, another shaman-like thing. And anyway, the locals or the indigenous people used to watch me because they kept on to abduct me. And then for some reason, I don't know why, the villagers, they weren't around, because they were always trying to, you know, hijack me off the planet, you see. So they were keeping an eye on me. For some reason, they weren't around. And when they were away, I got kidnapped and taken off planet. So I was about 12, 13. So I never managed to complete that life. There was one of those I had to, you know, do some in this life. Anyway, weird shit. You see weird shit. Come on, girls. I want some stories. So we must have some connection somewhere. Look at Ash laughing. Come on, Ash.
I have a life on Sirius. That's why I asked. Sirius B. I was a siren.
Oh, really? What did you look like? Come on, there we are.
Like a spiky fish merman thing.
But I mean, can you describe?
Nothing I could draw.
Funny, like looks like it wasn't hair. It was like these things that, like, I don't know what they were on your head. It was like, I can't explain it. And you ate, okay, the stuff you ate, it looked like spinach, grass, seagrass. Did you like live in cave, and did you eat seagrass? It looked like grass. It was kind of seagrass.
I didn't have to eat. Photosynthesized.
Yeah, but they were cool. Like, we have plants. Like, I remember anything they ate was like, we used to live like a cave thing, and the sky was purple, like purpley color. It wasn't blue. No?
That's not how I perceive Sirius, at least.
There's a
We all
lot of
see it so differently. It's so interesting how differently we see things.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of different.
Yeah, speak.
Oh, I've seen a lot of different. So I remote viewed a lot of people's past lives, and I've seen a lot of different planets in Sirius. The water planet where I've seen like the fish people is how I describe them. They're either like dark brown or green. They're really tall. They have like fin things right here, like how I guess that's how they swim. And they're huge and they're very muscular. Is that the experience you had, Ash?
I call them the water titans because I didn't know what they were.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they are either.
Like, they feel very protective, and like the
Yeah.
princess is like, oh, they're the water titans. But yeah, so I call that Sirius B. That's what I am. Sirius B is the water planet to me.
Other people have described them in other ways, and it called them Alpha Centauri's, or whatever they were. People, they look. You know why? Talking about this, I'm so interested. First time I've heard someone mention that, because when I was one of my trips here, I don't know, last year I was bloody going all over the place. But I remember I was taken under. I went under the water. These beings, like you're describing, green beings, tall. I've never seen them before. I was like, who the shit are these people? Very tall green beings, like you sort of described, strange-looking beings. I don't know what they were. Took me on a ship, and I went under the water, like right down under the water. They were the beings that took me first before Uluru to inner earth, which Crown calls the cave of creation, which represents each one of us as one of those crystals, and it's just like a crystal cave, like proper white crystals. Mm-hmm. See these things? But each one of them, it's in a massive cave. Wow, just crystals. Each pound, as Crown says, every time we connect, one of us it's in another dimension, so they'll never find it. But they took me to that. And then I went to some wormhole to another planet. Who knows? I mean, I remember. Then I went under the ocean through somewhere. I went to some wormhole, and I ended up in another galaxy with like humanoid beings. So that, what you're talking about, these green, they were like quite tall, green-looking beings, and I had never seen them. So it's interesting you mentioned that. Wow. They don't ever had fish things.
What about Lyra?
There's a lot of beings out there.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Lyra?
Lyran, do any of you have Lyran? Yeah.
Friend?
Yeah.
Not that I know.
I have Lyran feline lives, and then I had a lot of lives in Vega.
Okay. That's what I have written down here from Lyra Vega. I've done many meditations, and I'm with Asiel a lot. I spend a lot of time with Asiel. That's what I was telling Honor and Ash earlier before you came on. That's how I've seen you before, is crystal consciousness with Reina and with Asiel. And I have Lyra Vega written down here, and I'm just getting glimpses, but this is my guide's very hilarious way of introducing me to the ET world, which, I mean, as you know, things will come up, and I'm getting all kinds of images, but this is fascinating to me. It's very cool, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
If we could write a book, could you think of it now, on this awakening, the amount of people waking up, and we're all going to have different past lives we're going to remember, parts of the DNA activated. So if we could all put it together, could you imagine the information you can capture? Because it's billions of years. We've played so many different ETs and different planets and different types of beings. We've evolved. We played this, and some looked human and some weren't. And I mean, hell, it's fascinating. It's mind-boggling.
Because, I mean, I like the Ascension glossary.
Everything's now. So it feels like it's happening right now. You're reliving. I mean, it's mind-boggling. I mean, what's out there? You just think, holy shit. And people thought humans were interesting. So share some. Crystal, have you got any more? I'm really curious. I mean, that you know, or see, or can remember, or give us some.
Yeah, after Lyra was attacked, I ended up going to the Pleiades, and I had most of my lives there. And then at one point, I went to Sirius, and I had a few lives there. And then I went back to the Pleiades, and then I came to Earth.
Yeah, I remember. That's a vision I did. Actually, what I'll do, if you guys want to, if you've got any of those, if you've made any recordings or videos or somewhere where you've shared some of these lives, if you want afterwards, you can send me the links. I'll upload it. You should be able to upload this live as well to wherever you want to upload it to, and then you can put links I used to get taken every day. I mean, I just sit there and I was just, boof, I'd be gone. I was astrally ill all the time, non-stop. And I was shown when we first came, before actually there were humans on the planet, whatever we were, we came to this planet before there was some weird fish here. There was no humans. So this is before the humans, this, whatever, the man type was on the planet. It was weird. Everything was ginormous. It was so weird. And then I saw the eating of the planet. So when we first came here, do you know that it was so interesting? As NASA just said, you remember when the Earth moved out of, they said we were in this dome, 3D dome or bubble, and they were worried the Earth was actually moving out of this protective dome bubble, third dimensional bubble, when Earth started actually physically ascending. Now NASA will tell you, it looked like a dome or sphere we were under, energy thing. Now when we came here, talking about the Palladians, they set up that. So what was under Uluru? You saw those, it was like a glass sphere, like a round ship. It looked like a ship, and it wasn't with a band around it. Now they were all around the planet. There's more than one thing I saw of those. I actually came back and I saw as we came down, we set up. So they actually stabilized us and set up that energy field and all those things. I saw everything. It was fascinating. I saw when they came down, I saw it starting and I saw it setting up, starting all those. It was so weird. So yeah, we did. You're right.
Very cool. I've also seen the domes. They actually call them Eden, which is where I think the biblical word Eden comes from.
Yeah. What did you see? The dome that we put over Earth to form like an energy bubble, or the one that was over Atlantis?
I saw, well, when Earth was first starting out, the atmosphere hadn't stabilized, so different alien races would come and they'd put these huge, like city-sized domes over to protect and just maintain that area, until Earth's atmosphere was like stabilized.
Yes, they did that. Absolutely right. Stuff. I think it was asteroids or whatever hitting us, and stuff coming in or whatever. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think we lost one of our suns apparently because it was most planets have two suns. Planets with life or beings on them, they have two suns. We lost with all the shit coming in and whatever hitting. We lost one of our suns. So it's probably why they protect life.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is Alex Collier. He's been like an Andromedan contactee since the 90s. He's a super famous one. He said that the Andromedans told him that we do have a second sun, but it's actually in a different resonance. It's in a 5th degree density. Or a 5th density. So as we rise, potentially, and we get to 5D, we might see our other sun, in theory.
Well, it's funny because we dropped. We were all up there. We came down. I've seen stuff that we haven't found yet that are in other dimensions. We know. And we're not going to find some things until they won't be found on Earth or like sites. They won't be revealed because we're not in that dimension, as you were saying. So come on, girls. Ash, you've been very quiet, sitting listening.
I'm just taking it all in. I always see things from I feel like a different or like an underneath point of view. So I always like to see other people's point of views.
So Shay, what insights, any?
I believe there's two suns, but I believe one of them's fake.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I do think there might be a fake sun that we see
not real.
We have got fake ones they've really put up there. They've launched them. I mean, from this planet anyway. They put fake sun. Yeah. Oh, really?
The moon, ladies. Have you heard anything about the moon being Yeah. Okay. Is it? Yeah. See, this is somewhat new for me. So all of this is fascinating. But
remember, we've got to be careful because if it's put out, a lot of this shit is put out into the collective on purpose. They're saying, these people are spirit, and they come up with these stories. Oh my gosh, and they put them out there purposely. So you do believe it, and if you take it on as your belief, it will be, and you will manifest it and see it. But it doesn't mean they're all true. Actually, there's a lot of false stuff being fed out there to mislead us purposely, and people, when they first wake up, hear these people. Oh my gosh. And because they know them, they don't know themselves. Oh, that person is, oh my, look, they do whatever, and they believe it. And that's it. If you believe it, your guides are going to let you cruise along as far as you want for that belief in the story.
Discernment is so important. There's that feeling, you've got to go with what really resonates and be really.
We can be duality to everything, so everything's real and not real at the same time.
Yeah. And you can believe what you want. That's the thing. That's part of it. You can play, you can make your own reality and believe what the hell you want. There's nothing wrong with it,
Absolutely.
And you, Beth, have you seen got any insights or stories for us? Come on.
Right now, I'm looking at Atlantis. I'm thinking of, was this the planet? I'm asking questions because I don't know, but where we couldn't interfere. And this was a water planet, right? Am I onto anything? It's this planet? Okay, so from a different perspective I'm watching. So it's washed away, right? Like and I couldn't interfere. Yeah, that's a very, I feel things. I think we all feel, but I'm working with my guides on having to detach to not feel so strongly because I'll have certain sensations and it's this heartbreaking thing where we can't interfere. We just have to watch it happen. And it's devastating.
Yeah, a lot of people have got trauma not overcome that, actually, this whole thing.
Yeah, it's interesting. Trauma
Very
I'm getting good with now, but
aspect to that I found in a few past lives that I've done is there was energies that actually were able to shapeshift with the flood, so not everyone went extinct with the flood.
Yeah, and some people left. There were ships. You go back in that time, some people took off with their ships. There were ships here. They left in their ships before this happened. We collapsed. Yeah, we dropped in. It was like the energy. So what you saw happen, what I saw happen, I don't know if yours, I'll tell you what I saw. But I saw what happened. It was like a vortex opened up. So it was almost like we collapsed the dimensions, like a dimensional collapse. So next minute we have a high 5D, whatever we were playing with, right? It was like that energy got, like you would see, when you get sucked out your body, same thing. That it was like this energy came down, and it lifted vortex. So it's pulled out that higher frequency, that higher dimensional energy. It moved it out completely, and like it collapsed it, and everything went down as it went plunged into. So it was the same time as sinking it. So it sunk Atlantis, but it plunged into a lower dimension.
I believe that 100%. You know what?
Freaking weird.
You know what's
yeah.
You know what's interesting about I've seen in a lot of people's Atlantean past lives? So I see a bunch of starseeds came down during Lumerian Atlantean times, right? And they've been here and had lives since. I think that's the majority of the starseeds I see. But what I've seen in these Atlantean past lives is Atlantis went through this crazy progression where it started out really amazing, really benevolent. I see they built buildings telepathically, like they'd all get together and build stuff, and they would use like sound frequency to like take stone, and it would look liquid, and then they'd form it, and then it would like solidify. So Atlantis was like this beautiful thing. But towards the end of Atlantis, I've seen in a lot of people's past lives, it started getting kind of dark. It started being infiltrated by like dark beings and stuff, and the benevolent beings were warning them, being like, if you guys continue doing this, it's going to end. So I've seen in some people's past lives that they were given like forethought that it was going to end, and so a lot of them migrated and ended up going like underground or into like Egypt before Atlantis like officially fell.
They were eager because we were dropping in consciousness. So but it was all planned. Everything's planned. We came in with light bodies from different planets to play, and then we had no karma, none of this nonsense. So we eventually, as we dropped, we started becoming bodies, physical bodies, and that's what we took on analytical mind, the ego, the EPUB of the ego started. And as that came up, that I, me, myself, I, this is what started it. And then the arrogance and, I am, it's no more sorting it. I am the all power. So this whole thing of, what we call the dysfunctional gods like Poseidon and, whatever. Don't look at me. My friend was actually the first. It's in her past life. It was so interesting, and I was like, and that's how we connected because I kept seeing Poseidon, and I was like, why is Poseidon? Who the hell is Poseidon? And what's he going to do with anything? And this is how we connected. And she had past life, and it was like me, and I was like, oh, holy shit. So, and then she said, who? And I was like, oh, all right, okay. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, it did. We dropped into, and this is what happened. And you can see I just saw it being sucked out. It's like the energy just went, wow, it was interesting. Yeah, it formed like I don't know if you guys know, when we started this awakening, you saw a dimension that was collapsed, which they would call, I wouldn't know if it was a demonic role, but it was a lower dimensional plane, quite dark with a lot of dark things on it. That was collapsed. There was a battle, and we collapsed the dimension. We collapsed and you saw them getting sucked up. So during this awakening, it was 2020, we collapsed a dimension, which was a dark, dense, more, I suppose, all these things we've manifested. not so pleasant things. Yeah. One of those, And there's the angelics, and that was collapsed. That was interesting to do that one. So I don't know. So now we're working our way back up again. And I see you smiling. Come on, Ash. You got something to say. Come on, girl. There's some stories here.
I have the perspective that Earth is good. It's the humans that need to raise their vibration.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Of course.
I've seen the same thing that you saw, Crystal Consciousness, about the pyramids. People hiding and getting through tunnels through those, and then there actually being a portal in one of them. Yes. That was really interesting.
Oh, I totally believe that. Totally believe that. Honestly, I also, from seeing people's past lives, I think Egypt goes back 50,000 years. Like I'd bet my career on it, honestly, because I've seen so many people.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
When they arrived on the planet, as I saw them, they arrived, they did this, they set up this energy, this 3D dome, whatever, and they built those things. There was resonance and free. We had portals, as you were saying. We used to teleport. We used to teleport between our, like, the Atlantis shit here, whatever it was, even after it collapsed. Plus, we teleport, we could go to our planet, so it was jumps. Now, I remember, and I went astral back, and I went back and did it. It was so weird. I was walking through the pyramid, the big pyramid. I've been there a few times in its heyday when we were there. But it was so weird when you're walking around, like, physically. It's like you're doing it, and it's like you're reliving it. It's so strange. And then I was, as I say, I was one of those beings, anyway, very nicely dressed with a lovely blue, like, cloak robe. And I went downstairs. So I presume, I don't know if it was a sphinx, because I can't tell you. I was inside the pyramid and walking, and I walked quite far, and then I went down. And all I remember was a long corridor like this, and at the end of it, like the thing in Malta, it was like a round, it came to like a dead end, like a cul-de-sac. So you come like this, and then there's this round thing at the end. We would stand there, and we would teleport. So we'd literally go to that thing, stand in there, and we would like, oops. And same with Petra. You know that Peru? Machu Picchu? Now, I have never been there in this lifetime. Yeah, like you're shaking your head. But it was the weirdest thing. I remember seeing something on YouTube. Some guy, with these drones now. Everyone's got drone footage. And the Valley of the Gods, it just connected. They were forming it. I just feel something about the Valley of the Gods. And then this guy went up to Machu Picchu with his drone. But I wasn't interested in the ruins. It didn't feel, it had no attachment to me. So the ruins are a human thing. It was afterwards. But when the drone went up, right at the top of that Machu Picchu, where the ruins are, there's a peak with the mountain like a little, the teeny peak that comes to the thing just above the ruin. There's a peak. If you pay attention, there looks like 3 doors in the mountain. Like carved in stone, like they have all these other ones around there. People think you can't walk through them. You can. So there was like, and I immediately was drawn to that peak. Something's there. I just knew it. I knew something was there. And I looked and I saw the outline, and I said, that's it. And immediately I knew what it was. And we used to walk up there, and we would literally go through that, and it was like a portal. Those were portals. Mind-blowing.
Are you familiar with the Stargates?
Oh, yeah, they were moved. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. A lot. I mean, so much stuff was. If you go back to the old pictures of Egypt, they have hidden and moved. And I mean, when in 1800s, the British so-called, all that, like Smithsonian, there's so much. Everything was smuggled out and taken out and closed up and not entry and this. They've long known what's there and had access to a lot of things. Yeah.
Well, so Stargates are entry and exit, and they're connected to the ley lines. So they're considered portals that can be utilized at a certain vibration still.
Yeah. But they know. I'm sure they've been doing it, yeah. And they've been teleporting out. Yeah. They figured it out a long time ago. If we can go back in time and remote view and do these things, so can they. They've been doing it. You sitting there with a smile on your face. Come on, Crystal, pipe in there. You've got some knowledge, I can see.
No, I'm just loving this. I agree.
Have you guys seen or done any of those yourself? Do you remember any of those things?
Any what?
Do you remember doing it? I did. I've seen them remember doing it. Do you remember doing it or seeing any of those things?
I've seen, I saw Stargate once. I think it was in the astral, or I was remote viewing, and it was like a superimposed reality on top of our physical reality. And it was this huge circular, it was like a circular thing, and it had like blue light around it, like blue white light in it. So I saw that one time.
Yeah. But you haven't seen past lives when you did this. You know, we used to go back and forth to other planets and coming in. I've seen a couple when we came here and everything. They were so weird. We definitely weren't. And you, Ash, you've got some knowledge in there. But I know obviously for some reason they don't want you to share it. No one's going to harm us. I mean, it's just any insight you can give us to anything about what's going on the planet, past lives, whatever.
Antarctica.
Yeah. The big hole, the big hole, that freaking big hole. You're talking about that?
It's gonna solidify a lot coming up here.
Yeah. I saw some interesting stuff there. This was, I think, going back billions of years ago, because this is before the Pleiades, and it was going, because around, the grandparents, great-grandparents, whatever, Vega times. Because I ended up, it was the weirdest shit ever. I ended up, and I was thinking, who the frick is this, and why am I here? I was in the middle of space, and I'm like warp speed, you're shunting through space. I'm on this spaceship, and we are moving at a hell of a speed through space. And don't ask me what being I was. I was just in a ship, and we were moving through space. And there was more than one ship. We were being chased. I don't know what was going on. There was a grey, which looked like a grey being, okay, from back the planet, like a mantid, and a reptilian. Anyway, this was going, and so who was chasing who, I don't know, but we were just moving through space in the ship. And then all I remember, the next thing was this. One of them crashed. I don't know if it was a grey, whoever it was. It crashed. And it crashed into the snow. And it went down there was this big hole, a big hole. I've seen a picture of a big hole in that area you're talking about. Let's see. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So there was this huge opening, there was this big hole. Anyway, this ship crashed, so I presume it was Antarctica. It was freaking cold in the snow. And this being went down this hole, and it stunk. Oh, my Lord. You go in those astrals, and you can smell everything, and you can feel it's like you're there. Whatever down that hole, it smelled like...
My Claire Aliens is not the great.
Yeah. No,
my Claire Aliens isn't to that point yet.
Not all your astrals you smell. So whether it was a reptilian, this thing smelled like a reptile. It stunk. I've had pet snakes. So whatever, I went, anyway, this thing crashed, and I went, and we just went down this hole, and they were trying to flush it out. I don't know I'm still not sure. I just was wondering, who the frick is this, and why am I even here? How am I involved in this shit? And you see this being going down, and they're trying to flush it out, they're trying, right? And it stunk, it really stunk. And then I saw, it was like a whole battle going on. I still didn't know the context of it. It was really, but a long time ago. So a lot of people are at the moment going around and saying these are happening now. They did not happen. In the astral, everything's happening now. I mean, in the real non-physical world, it's all now. But I mean, people are believing that reality is with this timeline of reality. It's not. So, but it doesn't matter. People will figure that out later. Anyway. So then there was reptilians being chased under the desert. Where the pyramids are, somewhere in Iraq or that area, whatever. So this is maybe... It might not even be on this planet, it could be Mars. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? We just assume it's this planet living here. But I mean, it was a planet with snow, and then this shit happened. And then I see there was pyramids, and it was like desert. And then these beings with the Palladians, they were chasing the reptilians. It was those. I mean, I'm just like, what the hell is going on here? Why am I even being seen? I don't know. I was seeing this. Obviously, as a life we've lived. And then they were burrowing under the ground. They were like in this tunnel under the ground trying to escape. And they ended up inside the pyramid, in this big pyramid, and they were cornered. They were not happy, and they had to leave. And they got into this huge black ship. I've seen a picture of it now, so I do know. A big round black ship. And it wasn't really, it was way back. And they took off. But the matriarch, I don't know the matriarch was cornered under there, much bigger female, much bigger, lighter than the rest of them. I don't know if the matriarch got on the ship. I saw them all go over the ship, and she was injured. And then these beings, so I presume they, and then they weren't in bodies. I didn't get a physical, there was a lot of beings. They all got in under the pyramid. There were quite a few of them. And those things that we saw under Uluru, those spheres, which the Canadians, they put around Earth, that was to keep the frequency, to set, as you say, to keep this stable, to keep the Earth, hold the Earth in a certain dimensional frequency vibration, right? And they were searching for one of those things. So I don't know, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it was I don't know, back the line, someone trying to screw it up, and maybe this is when they dropped Anyway, these beings chased off the reptilians, and then they were searching for that sphere. It was theirs. They were looking for that, trying to fix it. They wanted it back. That's all I know. And then I saw the ones under Uluru, and then I was showing them all around Earth in a circle, and they will be restored. Back then I was showing that we're going to be all restored, and we're going to get back to that energy. They're going to, so the balance on our frequency or whatever, vibration, energy, dimension will be restored. But I mean, sometimes you wonder, what the hell is going on? Where am I? What am I going to do with this shit in the first place? It's weird, you see things. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know.
Really interesting.
Yep, it is interesting. You sitting quietly, Beth. You got any? So tell me, Beth,
Me?
quiet. You haven't shared any past lives. So you haven't got any ET lives that are coming up in this one.
Is there a lag for you? Like a...
Is there?
Such a lag, yes.
There's
It was trippy when you were speaking too, because it was like an echo, and I was listening.
No.
I tried the headphones to see if it made it better. It made it worse.
Oh, really? Maybe it's slow because there's enough of us online, or sometimes if you've got another device playing or phone on the same thing, it'll interfere. So I don't know. So tell me then, what lives are coming up with you?
Can you hear me
then?
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So I'm just going to take it out. So for me, I was, I guess this was Egyptian, and I was doing something with the stars, and actually in this life, it was my ex and I, we had this very specific relationship, and it was very volatile, and the person that was ahead of me doing this, my job was to align the stars, something with the stars. I was doing a map of the stars or something, and I can see it very clearly. There was a lot of sand, so there was grit in my teeth. I had dental problems, and I had dental problems early on as well. And my ex and I, my ex was this boss of mine in very, very long ago. This was in Egypt. He was very volatile to me in this life as well. I had to do some healing, I guess it was astral healing, and then healing on Earth. And then I was in this, I'm picturing, we're blue, very, very tall with like space jackets almost, bluish gray. And I believe that this is my higher self. I'm not sure. But I'm doing like a life review almost. Does that make any sense to you?
Yep.
There's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 of us. Those are the only, I mean, I have several others, but alien-wise, they're all Earth.
Yeah, but we came here
Earth-based,
from different planets to play. You know, we were Pleiadians before and stuff. We dropped in originally from those. So we were from there. You remember them. And a lot of your higher selves are, when you realize those guides, you were like, okay, that was me. Yeah, that was a past life. That was a past life. So those guides are different aspects of different lives of you guiding yourself now. It's fascinating. It's freaking fascinating. So I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Who are these beings? Do we see them? It's like you were talking about.
I was trying to find the pictures that I've drawn. I've drawn so many because those are the only ones I've seen. Are the like bluish grayish ones that are tall with the longish heads and
all the
yeah,
ones
very, very, yes, yeah. Very comforting energy.
Sounds like you were doing work with your divine blueprint.
Okay.
Lemuria,
Thank you, Ash. Okay. Interesting.
Something we have in every incarnation, but it helps you align with, it can help with manifestation. It can help with your higher self. It can help with healing. It's like like a map, like you said, like a map of your soul.
Okay.
You see, you learn. So it's like that's a nice if we like interact. I mean, ask questions. We can like these things you can pick up from other people. You know what I mean? You don't know. I haven't affected.
So when I manifest with my divine blueprint because my higher self essentially already lived this lifetime. So I just align with my divine blueprint for the energy I'm currently at, and just like let the energy go. I don't put masculine creator energy into that. I put masculine creator energy into healing my divine blueprint as a whole, not just Ashley as like the whole blueprint.
So are you pulling down from your higher self, or you're pulling down your blueprint from this life as Ashley?
My entire soul.
Okay.
I do like a whole soul perspective.
Yeah.
And then it in turn helps heal my now moment because of all the root causes of all the other stuff that occurred for the now anyway.
So smart.
If you see what you're into, I mean, you'll be like, holy shit. Because that's what I'm saying, you're indestructible. I mean, you look at the she's him. And people moan about this life. I'm thinking, well, I mean, I had enough trauma in this life. You accumulate. But if you look at some of the past, I would think, oh my hell, if I thought what happened to me in this life was bad, well, this is nothing compared to some of the things I've seen. It was like, ooh, no.
Well, even once this life is ended, it's still in your blueprint. So if you have to heal it, the next life will heal through your blueprint if you do it that way.
Yeah, no. I don't want. You want to do as much clearing as you want in this life because you don't want any shit residue you carrying into the next one because no. Yeah, Chris and Vanessa, you're sitting there very quietly. You got some insight there, or something you see, or no, or.
No, I love that actually. What I started doing with my clients that my guide Raina guided me to do is it's like inner child work, but it's past life inner child work. So sometimes they'll ask me something like, why can't I find a boyfriend? And instead of answering me directly, they start showing me a past life, like a movie. And I'll be like, all right, they're showing me a past life. And literally, I'm going along with you. So it'll start and I'll be like, okay, you were here, you were male, you're female. And then they'll show me more and more of the movie and they'll show me why. And then what I do with the client is afterwards, I have them imagine going to that version of themselves and like speaking to it, saying like, because I'll give you an example. Say I have a client who has a really big fear of like commitment, and they'll take me to a past life where they were really hurt.
Yeah.
I'll have them imagine mentally projecting to that past life, speaking to them and being like, what can we do to like heal this, let this go? Like, oh, we have a great boyfriend now, or oh, we're really secure. And I have them work on that past life to let it go because time doesn't matter. We're all like a conglomerate of all our past lives. We're just currently it's like our radio dial, our focus is only put to this life, but you can meditate to go to any of them really.
Exactly. Energetic compass. Yes, I was just talking about this today.
Yeah, she's very true what you're saying, and they're proving it now with trauma. And that's why I was saying, I'm really thinking about doing past life regression now to take people back, because science is now doing it. They're actually going back and healing people with PTSD. They're going back to that, and you can, we know that because we do it. I've had to do, when you wake up, your Akashic record, and as I was stuck as an ET cage, as a little child, I was age regressed and stuck in a cage, and that wasn't very nice what they did to me. They used to always try to abduct me because of my abilities. So anyway, they sort of chased me around. So you look at some of these things. So you had to remove things, and you had to go back past and then heal past lives, as we know, like even relationship things like now that happened to you. People haven't got over their shit from drowning in whatever. Lyria being destroyed. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, they didn't get over that. Because as you said, it's a traumatic event then. If we didn't understand it in that thing and heal the energy, you'd carry that energy through to the next. So we've got a lot of energies to clear, as a being, as a soul, as energy from all kinds of lives. That's interesting because that's what happens to me, Chris. That's how I see it. I get like a movie. I go back and I get showed everything like a movie.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Your energy is really interesting. Do you mind me so my guides were telling me your starseed origins. Do you mind me saying?
No, I got no issues anyway.
So you actually have a lot of some Orion and some Sirius lives.
Well, I'm sure. Got plenty of lives. How many billions of years old?
And Pleiadian lives too. Pleiadian I just assumed was given, but you have some interesting lives as a gray being at points in Orion and Sirius.
Well, that makes sense, and as I'm saying, because look, you mentioned that, and I wouldn't have a clue. Yeah, I'm in a ship, as I said, and I saw them. There's grays in the ship and Manted, so this is going way back. So they were when they had a battle, and we were involved in all these battles. I mean, we wiped out some of these planets, like the beings in the sun. So yeah, I'm sure. I've had enough on this planet as well. Wow, shit. That's interesting that you haven't shown, they won't show you, or you don't. I don't know if you, I mean, I'm not trying to tap in and see if you have. I don't try unless someone I ask permission anyway. But yeah, I'm many on this planet. I saw us arriving here. We did come from ladies here.
There's a rainbow on your screen.
Oh, there is.
I think it's a filter. Yeah,
I was trying to point it out.
I think it's a filter. Yeah. I mean,
oh, it's a filter.
It's mind blowing the shit you see. Mind blowing.
Yeah,
and I mean, I went to another galaxy. Now this is interesting because they were humanoid beings on another galaxy. But at what time, what planet? I'm saying, as we go more and more, we'll be able to remember more lives, more, whatever. The sun. Did you have interaction with the beings on the sun? That was fascinating. I saw the whole history of the planet before it became a sun. I mean, it was volatile. Wow. Hectic.
You mean Ra?
The sun. Our sun.
Ra?
I don't know what they call it, but yeah. Wow.
That's what I've seen come from the sun's Ra.
Okay. So
yeah.
I
had a few clients, past lives, very few, but at least 3 or 4, where they were a being that lived inside of a star, and they're like a group consciousness, and it was crazy. It's like they didn't really have bodies; they were like plasma energy, but like they all had like their own together plasma energy. They looked like big ovals, pretty much energetically, and they were this group consciousness that was all a star, but they lived in it, which I thought was really cool.
But this is the sun is. In the center of the sun, the core is 6 beings. And they kind of look like the sun. They have no physical body as such. And they took me to show me that I was shown the whole history. I'm saying it probably was the whole history of the sun. And boy, did they have some shit. Oh, hell, you think we had fighting and shit there. And then you see before it became a sun, you saw it actually go, it was like, can you imagine like our planet, like a normal planet, right? Then it obviously, what we perceive as hot, like now, it's too hot, it's going to burn us. It's not hot. It's at a much higher frequency. It's frequency and light. So the sun is just pure, high, very high frequency and light. It's not heat, as we would perceive, because we perceive it as hot because it's such a high frequency. So it became, I saw it becoming, the sun. So it went higher and higher and higher. It got lighter, poof. Anyway, so I see Ash thinking, come, Ash, you can, any input you can give us, or any of you guys can have any.
Well, there's a perspective about Ra consciousness, and how there's from like the sun god Ra, from the sun, and then beings from the sun that are part of Ra, the sun god's collective consciousness, which would be exactly how crystal consciousness described the little bubbles.
Yeah.
It tripped me out, honestly. I'd never even considered that idea or expected it, and I was like, no way.
I don't count anything off. Once you guys, you're all awake. I mean, the shit you see, you realize it's like, it's infinite. We have no freaking clue. We're billions of years old. I mean, there's no energy. We've been around. Conscious is the energy source. So we have no freaking clue. I mean, what we've played, what's out there, the diversity just on this planet is, I don't count anything off. People say, oh, they saw this or that being. I don't go, oh, rubbish. Because, I mean, just from what you've seen, you're just saying, wow, I mean, like, this is funky. Really funky shit. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. But it is interesting. They did show us a lot of stuff we're doing wrong as well. Like, okay, so I've seen a few things that, what's wrong here, whatever, yeah.
I just want to say I really appreciate being invited to this, and it's really nice to meet all you ladies.
Me too.
So really nice to meet you.
Yeah, but I'm waiting. Come, you guys are not sharing enough. Come on.
With all of
You've got to have some stories or tips or stories to tell us for clients, interesting things you can share. I'm fascinated because that's what's so nice about, yours, but unless you interact with other people, you don't get to learn, or, you can tally up or get verification of something you experienced.
I have a really cool past life story that I think is one of my most interesting ones. I had this client, and she came to me, and she's as soon as we started the session, I get your name and your birthday to connect to the Akashic Records. And as soon as we start the session, she's like, pretty much, I did the session because I can't find a boyfriend. So that's all I want to talk about. And I was like, all right, for sure. So I get her name and her birthday. I take a second, connect to her guides and her records. And instead of answering me, they show me a past life. So it was a past life in Scandinavia. She's a woman, blonde woman. And they show me that when she was about like 18, 19, she ended up getting together with this guy and they were like warriors together. Because I guess women in Scandinavia could be like fighters, just like men could be fighters. And
Yeah.
so huh?
Yeah, they did violently.
Yeah. And so they, from when they were like 18, 19, they got together and they were like married or whatever they call it. They were like partner bonded and they would like do everything together. They were like best friends. They fought together. They played together. They had like crazy sex from what they showed me. Like they were really like a really like passionate connection, right?
Yeah.
Then it flashes forward to when she's about like 28, 29. She was actually from a neighboring village that was like a day's walk away, and she got word that her mother was sick. And so she left her husband and the kids and she went to go walk to visit her mother who was sick and kind of dying. So that's why she was making the walk to go see her. But what ended up happening is there was like a snowstorm and she had to go over this pass where she couldn't. So she walked for like 5, 6 hours and was like, okay, I can't do it today. So she walked back and she found her husband sleeping with this young brunette chick.
Ooh.
And she was so upset and freaked out. She grabbed a knife and they were in their bed. She grabbed a knife and she stabbed them both to death. And I was like, whoa. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know this like past life was gonna make that turn because it started off really nice, right?
Yeah, you
And I
know.
was like, oh, I should have warned you. Sometimes they get a little graphic. And she started laughing, the client, and I was like, why are you laughing? And she's like, so I got together in college with my college sweetheart. We were best friends. We did everything together. We ran a business together. And she was in like her mid 30s. She's like a couple years ago. I had to go on a business endeavor for our business and my flight got canceled and I turned around, came back. My husband wasn't answering his phone and I found him in bed with this brunette chick that lives next to us. And she's like, I saw absolute red. I chased them out into the street naked, pretty much. Like they were like holding clothes. I chased them out of the street. She got in her car and she actually tried to run them over. And she didn't, she wasn't successful. But she like went into like a blind rage and like almost killed him. And she said that ever since then, I fantasize all the time about killing him. And I was like, oh, damn. And she's like, I haven't been able to date anyone since. So then afterwards, I go and I ask her guides. I was like, okay, why did they show us this life? What are the parallels here? And they showed me immediately after she stabbed them to death originally, she was so deeply sad and sorry that she never dated anyone ever again. And the rest of that life, she regretted it so much, even though she was so angry. So her guide said she had to repeat the same circumstance, but this time she was supposed to not kill him and forgive him.
Yes.
And they said essentially you cannot move on to another relationship until you forgive him.
You've got to learn, yeah. And it will keep people don't realize. When you said that, I laughed because I knew what was going to happen. I'm thinking, oh shit.
Yeah.
If we didn't learn that lesson, even in this life, and they're going to put you in the same circumstances so you can do it from a higher perspective. I'm going through it now, finding it fascinating. I'm going through it right now. And I'm going through things that have happened before, and they put me in the same thing again. So it will trigger me to see it. But now, of course, you are awake and you tapped into a higher level of consciousness. So when something comes up, I'm like, okay, tap in why? Okay, whoa, there's something I need to heal and clear. So I won't do the same behavior. Mine was from the victim perspective, you see. But I'm not doing that anymore, but you also did stupid things. But this is what people don't realize. If they whatever they screwed up or didn't learn, you're gonna have to. And people don't realize a lot of their problems in this life are connected to other lives, unresolved.
Yeah, that's why forgiveness has been key for me as well.
So did she forgive him? I'm curious. Doesn't look like she did.
She didn't like that answer, to be honest. She was very resistant.
Okay, so she's gonna do it again. She's gonna go through that same shit. You can see her smiling. We know what's gonna happen.
At least she didn't kill him.
Yeah, but she's gonna have the same shit happen to her. It's gonna keep manifesting until she learns.
Right.
She's got to be able to look from the higher perspective. that your happiness is not dependent on that person in the first place. You know, you can't control them. Wow, yeah, forgiveness. She's got a lot to learn there. Ooh. All right. That's a very low level of consciousness, anger control. Lack of forgiveness. She's not seeing it from a higher, trying to control the partner, fear of losing someone. That's a 3D love sort of scenario.
You guys have
any good stories
stories?
for us? Hey, Beth?
Do we have what? I was just going to say, I'm sorry, the lag is so bad. If you, I'll open up my energy. You're more than welcome to read me whatever past lives. I don't have any
stories or even from other people?
Stories. Oh, yeah, of course. Well, yeah. So, yeah, I've had to heal from a lot of lives here, because I felt I had my heart, my worth, and my job was in my heart space. I went into my energetic field, and so I had to go in and separate the two. And it took a lot of, it seems, yeah, a lot of us, I'm sure, have that worth, the self-worth thing, but mine was so bad it held me back in so many different ways. So I've had to do a lot of energetic work with that. ET-wise, not so much. All of this is so fascinating to me, though, and I wonder if I was brought into this space to discover some of my past lives. I'm not sure, or, whatever it is, ET-wise.
Well, at the moment you're in the right place because the planet's going through that self-love healing, like personal healing. It's like things that are holding us back from being our true selves. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, am I going through it? We all so any healing that's to do with that, wow, big time now. Clearing the heart chakra and stuff. Wow. Ash is shaking her head, so she saw or knew something when you were talking there.
Oh, I was reading the comments. I personally have the perspective that human emotions can't have any vibration depending on how they're transmuted and utilized within your vessel. So I was just looking, I was like, wasn't sure how I should approach that, but I think anger is very sacred and can be utilized beautifully to manifest, control, it really depends on your intention. So I just wanted to kind of share that because I think we're here as humans. We have a full spectrum of emotions for a reason, and they can all be utilized in any range of vibration.
Well, they give us a choice. You like this or don't like it. So this is right. So you can learn from it or what. Because if we don't like one, you're going to want to go to the opposite. So I'm curious. Just emphasize a bit more on that about your whole, because everything has a frequency and vibration. When you say the word, you can tap into it. I was doing it the other day. So happiness, and you can feel what that feels like. It's different frequencies. So what is your view on that? It's interesting.
So I have the perspective that everything is neutral until your intention comes into it, right? So anger, neutral until you either utilize it to hurt somebody or utilize it to heal yourself, right?
Cool.
Those have two different vibrations. Again, control. Are you using it for safety momentarily, or are you using it to try to manipulate somebody? Two different vibrations. So I see something as neutral until the intention comes into play. And that's the same with like light and dark for me. Like those both could have the same vibration depending on the level of denseness and intention within each energy.
Well, it's necessary if you think about it, because the universe, that's how our universe works, or that whole, they call the black hole. It's opposite. It's there's two. They're going to see, as you said, they're going to discover there's two.
The void and then creation.
It's pulling, like the push pull, like magnetics, right? There's two always, like a battery. There's a positive and negative side to it. So that's what you're saying, because there's energy. There has to be. But it's all for us, which we choose. So we tap in, and this is what keeps our universe going as well. It doesn't collide. Is that there's a positive and negative. There's like a wormhole, whatever, the black hole thing, whatever they want to call it. So you can't. That's a higher perspective, and if you look at it like that, you're bloody right.
Because and that helped me embrace my anger more too, because for like such a long time, anger was something I felt was like gross or disgusting, like I shouldn't feel it, I should push it down. But then it kept coming back. I'm like, well, how am I supposed to use this emotion in like a way that can benefit? And it kind of shifted things for me in understanding that I will get the emotion, and then my intention with it is where the vibration goes within it. and it doesn't make me low vibe just because I experience anger, because I have a full spectrum of emotions. But then it's what I do with that.
Yeah, if you hang on to it, if we attach to it, so if we say anger, oh, that's mine, I'm going to hang on to that. You know, we then are choosing, we can let it flow through us, but if we hang on to it, or we got shit, or it's, you know, whatever, or we don't express it, if you try and suppress it, you know, because now it's stuck, absolutely, that energy's stuck, we didn't let it flow through us. But like you say, you can go around and say, fuck, you know, you can have it works like a charm, I love that. And you go on those rants or punch something, whatever, you can go on an effing spree. You know, get that, you got to express it, you got to get it out somehow. But yeah, don't try and swallow it or try and suppress it, because then I should know, because yeah, I'd worked through so much trauma in this life from not being able to process the energy, or sort of suppressing the energy. I kind of manifested a bloody tumor here from doing that, from suppressing that hurt and that all that, you know. Wow. So yeah,
I've heard from guides that a lot of cancers suppress anger and suppress expression and suppress emotion. That's really interesting.
I can absolutely believe that. Absolutely. Anger grief is it's a very dark, a very strong emotion. Very, very anger, grief, hurt, I'm not sure, but it's something tapped into that. As you say, anger, definitely, it's maybe, you know, people understand, yeah, but they say it's only two, love and fear, but I fully agree with you there. This was holding it, just, you know, when you feel so, that rage, and you're trying to suppress it. Even as a kid, I used to do that. I had a teacher that used to, and I used to sit in that class and I refused to cry. So I would suppress it, but it was like rage. You were so angry but upset. You're trying to hold back the tears, and it's tears and anger. It's all kind of mixed. Yeah, that's exactly what's there. Yeah.
Hey, Ash, as far as your perspective on neutrality, I really appreciate that, because one of my guides, not Raina, my plating guide, but I have this teacher guide that I work with between lives. He's like my teacher master I talk to, and he's a lot more serious than Raina is. But he had me do this exercise where he was giving me an exercise in neutrality, where we went through different ways I feel about something, and he was like, good or bad, neutralize it. And so he was like, okay, you get up and get coffee, you appreciate the pleasure from the coffee, imagine neutralizing that. And then he had me neutralize bad things in my day, and he kept like being really strict with me, like, no, don't feel the good, don't feel the bad, stay neutral. And he had me go through my whole day like that, and it was actually really quite a challenge. But by the end, what I realized what the neutrality is we have like pleasures and pains, but neutrality is actually like contentness.
Yeah,
and you'd actually live a more content life. And so, anyway, he's been making me practice that, but it's very difficult for me.
It's like the bush. If you attach to nothing, if you accept everything, not good or bad, you don't attach to it. You don't judge it. Because if you judge it, you're saying, well, that's bad or that's good. If you just let the experiences come through, we don't attach. It's a non-attachment. And as you say, it's when you try and work at that higher level, it's not easy to do that. But it's purely non-judgmental, because you are judging it then by labeling it good or bad. So we do not attach to the emotion or to the experience. That's what they said. It's how the Buddhas and Jesus said, there's no suffering. You have no suffering. And also know there's no karma, because you're not attaching, you're letting the energies flow through without grabbing onto them. So you're not going to, you know what I mean? You're not... Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
Even neutrality.
Very wise. Yeah.
Even neutrality is that linear mind thinking. So it's that things are done by me, you know, and when you're able to go up a little bit more to the love, to the higher frequency, it's like things are happening through me, things are happening as me, that I am present. The neutrality, that would make sense to me. So I appreciate that perspective as well.
You're playing here, but there isn't. If we go up to the higher level, there isn't any duality. There's only source, there's only us. So some people say there's this good and bad. There's no actually. Yes, in this dimension, in this game, as human, or as where you focus now, your little thing, but there is nothing. There isn't this good or bad. We all source in the light. There isn't any. It's in this dimension or in this game we experience that, or the dark, the light. You know, this and this. No, of the high, there isn't any. And they actually think you're wacky when you say something, because they don't see anything as there's no separation. They don't even identify as like human or, you know, anything like that. It's weird.
Right.
Very weird, yeah. Strange. Interesting. When you get up to them, some beings are very, very highly evolved.
Well, what's funny is so I come from a fifth dimensional fifth dimensional race of Pleiadians from the planet Era. And a lot of people have these weird ideas about the Pleiadians that they're just all light beings and they're perfect, which is they're humans
They
just
had
like us. They're fifth dimensional humans. There are higher dimensional Pleiadians that are like seventh, eighth dimension, and they're more light bodies. But the fifth dimensional Pleiadians, like Reyna, she's got an actual body, and they experience anger. They experience all kinds of emotions, but what they do is they feel it very strongly, and then they just let it go,
yeah, there we
which
are.
I find really fascinating.
We got to learn. Now that's a life you remembering going back before they evolved, but they're gone much further up now. But Palladians were the same as us. They had their fair share of shit and war and all kinds of crap, yeah, before they evolved. Yeah, they're in a much higher frequency. They've been around much longer than us. We the babies on the block. We literally are very young. If you ask your guys to tap in and you say when we started here, you'll see, or this version of humans, you'll get I was told 200,000. I didn't get plus 1 year or whatever shit. I was just told 200,000 years. And then I saw, I think it was Gaia TV or someone, one of those things, saying, yeah, that's when this Homo sapien lot. So they seeded us. So yeah, that's what I was shown. So we're very young. This human so-called vessel we're playing, you know. We're very young. We're the new kids.
These bodies.
Yeah, this human thing is a new game, you know. And it's a bloody hard one. 3D was a very, to master energy. Oh, listen, here's what I want to ask you guys before you disappear, right? What I was given, or what's come through me is, you know, where we're heading, and we're not staying here. But it's to go back again. So it's like we're going in a circle. So we did that. We've done all these different things. We took on the body. We took on ego. We've done the analytical mind. Now we're going back to. So we're incorporating them. We've got the higher self now. Well, the soul guide is going to use the analytical mind. So the higher self will be in charge now, overriding. This is the new epoch we're going through. But we'll eventually go back to being a light body. So we're going to go back to going where we're going to raise up to the point where we're going to evolve enough that we're actually not going to be needing a physical body anymore. Then I know what.
But you're going to choose to have one still.
Where we're going to go to after that, I'm not sure. When the Earth came in it, but yeah.
Well, you know what's funny about seeing people's lives? I've seen people's like seventh dimensional lives and eighth dimensional lives, and so there's a level of physicality on every dimension when you go up. So even if so obviously we're taking in more light, and our bodies are getting more light as we go from 3 to 5, right? We're taking on more light, we're getting less dense, but we're going up in levels. But I've noticed, which I find really interesting, is even on the 8th level, to them, looking at each other, they have a level of physicality that they can see. But if they were to come here, they'd look like spirits.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
Yeah. That's what I see. We're going to go back to that, where you can move between light body. Yeah, you're going to have, obviously, because you can read energy. So you have it, but it's not like a dense, like we think it's solid. You know what I mean? But that's where we're going to go back to. And then that's, whatever, it's to master, we're learning how to master manifestation or whatever. I don't know what we're playing or how we're even doing it. And then we're going to, but I don't think Earth is not going to be forever like the sun. It changes. So how she will evolve, I'm not sure. And then I suppose, will there be non-physical? And then we'll maybe get bored and bugger off and we'll see the next planet, which is, the next. So now we will be the parents of the new. I wonder what we're going to see. Who knows? But yeah, like the Palladians seeded us, we will go off and start life on another. We will help life on another planet, I presume, or whatever.
What I've been shown is it's about creation, because as you, my ears are ringing, because as you ascend, if you want to use that word, in your physicality up to the other dimensions, like the Pleiades, for example, their mind and creation creates almost instantaneously. Yeah. So if they want something created in that moment, it literally forms in front of them because of the way the energy works with their frequency. So where we are here, where things are slowing down and things take more time, it learns literally every single molecule of a creation at a time. So then that allows our vessels to curate a basis for creation, to then send that to our blueprint, to then have an overall understanding of creation for the aspects of us that are at the higher frequency already.
You know what is so strange? When you work your way up in frequency and dimension or whatever in astral, right? To different levels. At one stage, I got past the the lotus throne thing. But then what I saw, which is really strange. I got one thing I was shown is like, say, okay, this is weird. So you are source, because part of us is not here. Okay, we're not all here because we can't fit into this. It's too much energy to put into this denser frequency of vibration, right? So you are source, watching yourself. So you are over there and you're watching. You basically, you can actually say, it was weird. It's like looking down. We projected. It's like you're projecting yourself there, like playing this human thing, right? But what I saw was like dimensions, and we think they're not around, is that there's no difference. Because, in our mind, this was the weirdest thing I've ever saw. We think of like layers, right? Always one layer, because we don't understand multidimensional. We still got this linear perception. So there's like one word at a time and one layer at a time. But it was so strange. What I saw was that they're all here. There's no difference. Because when you think of dimension, I'm going up to 5D. We think I visualize layer, because it just comes through how you can perceive it. That's all. You're shown how you can actually perceive things. But what I saw was, say now, it's all around us. It's all here. It's no step, so it's all there. We just don't see it. It's like one room, right? And everything. I mean, it's just all around us. Everything's here, but we just don't see it because it's at a different frequency and vibration. How weird is it? But when you're able to see it all at once, it's like, what the hell? It's like, so as you were saying about that, Krein was talking about that. He was saying, about the Palladians. And so now he's reckons, they are here. They never left. Because but they're not in physical bodies anymore. They're a million years old. They're way evolved. They went through our thing and all this nonsense in their ships. They don't need ships anymore. It's instant. So they think about what we remember as our lives back then, like you remembering. Those are lives, but they literally think about, like, say now, Earth, but they literally think about it and they're there. So their consciousness, like source, be there instantly. They can manifest. So then they can just say, choose, manifest a vessel or a body or whatever. Poof, there we are. But there's no, like, we think our ships, most of what people are seeing out there is actually, belonging to the human race. Those things, those UFO things are not actually from another planet, but they don't need them. They're way past that stage where they need a ship. They're going through those ones we saw. Those were ancient. But so they literally they can appear here. Nothing like that. I can buy that. I've listened to clients say nothing like that. That's interesting. Yeah, I absolutely get that. Because if they came to see us back 200,000 years ago, they were really that advanced. They could, fiddle with our DNA, do all this, help us. We would have, get out of the monkey age, the dark age, in a very primitive biological form we were. You can absolutely see that, yeah. Absolutely. So, yeah, I found that fascinating. But we were. Who knows where we're going? It doesn't really matter, like you were saying, because we're here now. We're playing human now. You know what I mean? We are in human bodies. We're playing the human game now. Until we get this right, we're not going anywhere. Because we got to learn to master this bloody dimensional story and, and our energies or our consciousness and manifestation and all that shit. And if we can control our emotions, we'll be able to manifest for a reason. Easier. Hey?
You're having a human experience for a reason.
Yeah, we chose to. You chose to. And I don't know, I can't say, because I'm not trying to. I'm trying to tap in and ask, but so I don't know if you have been here before. I doubt it, mate. Don't know. I don't like to. I always find it very rude. I don't try. I just got this.
Have I been here?
I don't try and drop in on people. I don't purposely try and.
Consciousness.
Oh, sorry.
You know what I mean? I just find it doesn't, because it's not important. We all souls, we all source, we all one anyway. So I don't try and I just don't feel comfortable doing it.
It is interesting.
Sometimes I know when I can pick up you don't have to. You can see someone and I know, okay, they know truth seeker, they know exposing of the truth. You can see, your discernment is like instant now, the energy. They're saying something and it doesn't, that word, that thing does not tell you. I mean, there's no sincerity there. They can say they are ET disclosers and super soldiers, whatever bollocks they're telling people. I mean, I'm like, all right, next. I can see immediately. I don't have to even listen to for 2 seconds. I know it's the biggest sort of shit. I mean, there's so many of them out there, and I know who's behind them. I literally see it because I'm like, oh, okay, it's interesting. See which country you're working for. So you can see all these people that they long put out there to lead this front. behind them are, you know, more formal structures, but this way. But you can see it, like, okay. Yeah, but normally in the beginning when you started, you were tapping in. You like psychically try and tap in and like try and remote with them or who they're from. I mean, but if you're really in your belief, if you stay neutral, you don't have an attachment to a side or people or you know truth seeker, whatever they are. That once you've kind of followed people and believe them, or oh my God, that's it. You're not going to, because you have to learn yourself. Your higher self is not going to tell you, and because you can believe there's no one truth. There isn't a truth. What's your truth and mine can be totally different. You can believe whatever you want and manifest and play whatever you want to play. So yeah, there's a lot of it out there, and I'm like, okay, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot, and especially even on TikTok now, I scroll through and I see, you know what's interesting, girls? You'll notice this because you'll be tapped in. There's a lot of people out there that are realizing this movement is growing, and they want to cash in on it, like trying to make, you know, okay, there's also scammers offering fake readings and muti and spells, and I mean the biggest sort of shit here. But there's a lot of people out there that are, you know, hello souls. When someone talks, you feel the energy. This is what people, you can feel sincerity. It's like, hello, beautiful souls. You know, so these so-called coaches or people out there that have no spiritual, there's no heart, there's no, what they're doing, as you say, the intent and thing is not in whatsoever. They're in there to get maybe to be influencers or to make money or to be
whatever. It's a different timeline.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not our timeline. It's just
there are so many of them out there that are on this thing now and trying to be so-called spiritual thing. Hello, beautiful souls. I like you because okay, whatever they are. Blah, blah, blah. But if you that word, like in the old days, we believed like our politicians. I mean, it's hilarious if you look back now. I'm thinking, holy shit! That's what people say, and they're feeling and they work. The energy is just not even lined up one bit.
Fear is what I notice. I can always tell if someone's preying on fear. I think so. Yeah, I think if someone is,
that movement
it's just an immediate. Yeah.
But it's a good test for people because everyone has to go through their shadows. So when you first wake up, wow, you haven't fought your own demons and your shadows. You are projecting, and if you're looking for those demons and the bad guys and the Illuminati and everybody and the whole, I mean, you're out there. So you need to go through. So of course it's external. I mean, it's external. You're a victim, and they're controlling me, and we, and we don't realize also what we focus on is what we manifest, and we're holding on the planet. So the more you focus on what you don't want on the collapse, the more you're keeping it. Yeah, you know what I mean? You're not manifesting a new earth. It's energy. So yeah, but I'm saying we're all here to experience something different. Some people need to learn discernment. Some people want to play the dark. We're all here to play. So there's got to be like fun out there for everybody to experience different stuff, whatever they want to do.
I know this is going to be a different perspective than a lot of people, but reptilian's a state of mind. I just wanted to share that with people who keep talking about it in the comments.
Okay.
Like I said, I come from a very different avenue of thought.
It's not different. I've shared that. I made a video about that. It's on my YouTube page because I dropped into reptilians. I used to drop into them. And on this off planet, I mean, everywhere. I saw so much that shit going on with them, battles and Mars. I mean, I can tell you what's in Mars, on what's the rock, where the water is, what they made their ships are.
I believe they are beings, but I believe that they're also being used as a mask for humans to not be accountable for some of their actions.
Yes. What we're seeing, what we're perceiving, I made this thing, and I noticed that because I was seeing that, and I went higher and higher, and I got a different perspective. People are milking it. People are milking. The agencies knew this was coming a long time ago. That's why they did Woodstock. They've been experimenting, so they knew the awakening. They know the government knows exactly what we're going through. So this is why a lot of the movements pushed out there to give us a boogeyman, a demon to chase, stop you going in. So they're trying to control the shadow work. So they're trying to manage collateral damage. So if we can all steer you off there, those are the bad guys, and keep you on this, this feed you a dark person and narrative, and we're gonna, whatever bullshit they're doing, right? This is just a thing. But what came to me later, Ash, was exactly what you were saying. what I was seeing, what we perceive, because we think everything we see, because if we see a reptilian, it's a literal lizard. You know, that's what I'm saying. It's coming through our filter, and our guides are trying to show us things, or we're trying to, in a way that we will understand. It is a form, like you say, it's consciousness. So what we're seeing, what we perceive as non-humans, are actually humans holding that very controlled, domineering consciousness. Because I dropped into things on this earth, right? Now I'm perceiving them as souls, as research checked it to give us because they're seeing these people as reptilians. They're not actually reptilians. It's the level of consciousness. They're holding that control, bullying. That you see what I'm saying? So then I managed to, after a while, put it together. I'm thinking, oh, okay. What I'm seeing are people in our governments which are holding this level of consciousness. Yeah, Crystal.
That resonates, yeah.
Oh, well, so I disagree with Ash, just in my own personal experience, but I totally love and respect Ash and I feel like you have so much wisdom. I appreciate your videos so much, but that's what I kind of love about TikTok, where I follow so many people where we hold different beliefs, but I believe it's all kind of neutral anyways. So I'm always willing to like hear other people's wisdom and perspective because I think it's all valid and I think we all create our own realities. In my personal experience, I think reptilians are real physical beings. I've met some in the astral. I've been attacked by some in the astral myself. So that's just my own perspective. But I do that's just my own perspective. So I just like to offer just a different perspective. But I totally, absolutely respect you and think a lot of what you say is like mind blowing.
I tell everybody, I have to agree with me.
We see them as actually
but I can still appreciate you.
But it's actually energy. So they're holding that energy, reptilian energy, that the way they behave, right? So like you were saying now, I've been through all of that, exactly like you said. I'm plenty of it, actually, and I used to drop into them in battles. So this is going back, we had battles back then. Whether they're still, and they were on this planet, there's physical proof of what they looked like walking around the planet. So they were here a long time ago, right? We are told they're still here, I don't know. But like you're saying, those people that can attack us, like you say, it's energy. It's energy that it's attacking us.
Couldn't you say that we're all energy at a certain level? Even if they're fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional beings, we're third dimensional beings. We just have more of a solidity to us and a denseness.
I did just want to add that I do think they are. I do think reptilians are beings. I do. I don't think that they're doing what certain things say they're doing on this planet, and I think it's a mask for what humans are doing.
Yeah.
I can see that perspective.
That's a great.
But I do believe that they're beings. But like, I think that it's trying to project a sense of not holding our own ethics accountable for things such. I don't want to like say the terms, but like, if you've been into this for a while, you've probably seen what people say they're doing.
You're
right, I think this is a certain point where like humans need to be accountable for that. And it like hurts my heart space to even sit here and think like humans are doing that. But in every aspect, there is a duality to it.
You're right, because they definitely were on this planet, and they were, because I mean, I saw we wiped out Mars. I don't think they're there anymore, but we pretty much destroyed the planet. We just remembering going back in that time. It's happening now. There's lives, and I was, like I said. Plus, I had people here physically. I don't want to mention names, but say, this movement that's going on out there. They started this whole red pill movement. These people are fairly high in the red pill movement now. Anyway, never mind. They're quite high in the red pill movement, and I'll give myself away if I kind of say what they do, right? Anyway, one of those people, anyway, I was kind of, my early days, sent off to that. Yeah, I got to be very careful what I say, because it was very easy to figure out who they are, actually, Anyway, they put out a lot of this information, start in this movement, a lot of sort of stuff, anyway. And they were meant to help me. Okay, when I woke up, I was following that and believing all that stuff, and I was like, fighting these things and all kinds of stuff, and I got attacked. Because you could believe in those days, you can get attacked, you believe someone can attack you, well then here we are. You're going to be attacked. Because you're not source. So, well, I mean, there's beings more powerful than me. We're going to learn that. We all went through our ET battles and all this shit, all these things and demon battles and crap. So I was still there, and I got attacked. Wow, and it took me forever, because now you believe those stories, and this person was going to help me remove this thing. So I tapped into this person, Well, the one. And anyway, it's very interesting. This person, not what they say. Anyway, as you say, what you perceive. What we perceive. We always, this is humans. We literally, we take it as literal. Okay, that looks so. Yeah. Anyway, we perceive. It's just our perception. Yeah. So this person, when they came, sort of psychically came to visit me, tried to climb into me as one of those exact beings, and I was like, oh, interesting, because then they were, the energy exactly. And I was like, at opposite next, but this so-called person, is portraying everyone, seeing them as, when there was a Draco, and I was like, oh, interesting. No, bye-bye, get out, off you go. No, you're not going to, no, you're not welcome, you're not climbing. And I chased them away, and I was like, oh, interesting. So how you telling everybody who you are and what you are here is a very different being to what I see. But then I dropped into, because I was very involved in the whole reptilian thing, as I bought it, and I was all over the place. And then I dropped into some places on planet Earth, run by humans, and I'm sure we're not supposed to be in these places, I'm very sure we're not supposed to be in them. There's nothing, as people say, this is put out there, like the white is the cord, silver cord, it's put out there to limit us, because, oh my gosh, you're going to, you can't, you're going to get stuck and you won't be able, you get locked for bloody bollocks. So all these things were purposely put out there to restrict us, because they didn't want us doing what they were doing. Because there's no ways, like, the government can keep a secret when the whole world can remote view and astral travel everywhere. So another story is put out there. Oh, there's psychic people blocking you. You can't do that because you attack, all this bullshit. So if you believe you're going to be blocked, you can't view something, or you're going to be attacked, you sure as hell will, because it's your belief, and you will get, you're the minister, you're the source, you're going to get it, right? So they do these things, and if you believe you can't go there and view this and do that, well, that's exactly what will happen. You won't be able to do it, which is actually bollocks, because we know everything exists now in the time, and quantum, there's nothing you can't view and go. It's only your perception that believes that nonsense. So I dropped into places, well, not willingly, I know what the hell I'm doing there, all kinds of places, and, let's put, I'm sure I wasn't supposed, let's just put this way, people knew where you were in, I'm sure you could knock on the door, hello, we'd like to talk to you, things like that you're dropping into. And these beings, and these, so I'm saying, this type of consciousness, this control, domineering, which we're seeing now, being enacted around the globe, right, is a level of consciousness held by people in places. A lot of it's in military places. So you see them, and you see the energy. Wow, it's very some very, very, like, wow. I've seen some very nasty energy, but very, very deep levels of these bases, sort of, certain places and, whatever, never mind. But you see, so, like you were saying, and then eventually it perceived to me, it's like, oh, I was getting it. I was like, okay. So we were,
sorry to interrupt. Can I ask you guys, just in general, all of you, what are your guides having you work on the most lately? What are they having you tell your audience? I'm curious.
They're making I'm laughing because there's a reason you said that. The biggest thing that they've been having, well, my whole content's about it, honestly, but is having us learn how energy affects us and how to transmute it into, like, how you affect energy rather than, like, vice versa. So, like, when a solar flare happens, like, how are you utilizing this energy? You may be experiencing this, but you could use it for an activation and things of that sort. Because that's definitely not stopping anytime soon. On a healing aspect, it's been a lot with, like, inner child, like, teen recently. And it's interesting because there's, like, a viral trend going on where people were like, oh, me at 14 would be so grateful that I'm still doing this, or me at 20 would be so grateful I'm doing that. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it kind of aligned a lot with people really healing their now vessels. I keep getting, like, joy. Like, people need to focus on joy. Like, we can get so stuck in, like, the cycles of healing,
because a lot of people
the denseness of the collective and
movement and the negativity, and they don't realize, well, they're just trying to get people to realize, you're trying to get them drag them into 5D. So, like you're saying, I was shown that what was going to come, all this new earth energy that was coming in was going to clear up. It was opening up the heart chakra. The gold light was coming, clearing our heart chakra, because we can't if we don't clear it. And what is it? Happiness, joy, and, it's we always, as humans, we're victims of negative.
What are you doing?
All that we're so used to focusing on now instead of being responsible, manifesting it. React. So yeah, and you, Krista, what are you getting? A lot of healing.
Oh, actually, can I hear from you as well?
Beth? Beth?
You honor, yeah, me, I've, frequency and transmuting and holding space has been huge for me. I've got it all over the place. It's like yeah. And the fear-based stuff is just to transmute and energy as well, but that's been big for me. It's all over the place.
Love it.
Just holding the high frequency, even if I'm in a house with very interesting energies right now, and just to remember that holding that frequency is very important for a lot of different reasons. So that's why I'm tired sometimes. That's why, you know, it doesn't feel like I'm doing things, but there's a lot of things that are going on under the surface, obviously.
I think we're getting taught not to let the outside affect us, because we always like that. Oh, it's something else. Oh, it's that. Or it's that. They can affect my energy. Yeah. It has to be sovereign. It's like, no, you're absolutely in control of your energy.
Right. Always. Yes.
Yeah. And you, Crystal, what are you feeling, or what are you getting?
The biggest thing my guides have been having me work on is the Pleiadians, especially, is how to use my energy to manipulate it to attract what I want. So they've actually started teaching me telekinesis, so I can move little rocks by channeling my energy through my breath, my chi, and then focusing it. So that was a new one. But they've also been they're teaching me about how my vibration is creating my reality. So I wanted to lose weight actually recently, because you know I'm a girl and sometimes that's what we like to do.
I'm on the same mission.
And in the last 6 months, I was like, okay, I want to lose weight. My guides were like, you can make that happen. And so they explained to me, I started doing like self-love exercises. I started picturing what I wanted. I started actually every day, my guides have me like hug my stomach and give myself a hug. And I started dropping weight without changing my exercise at all, because they're like, you need to prove this to yourself. You can manifest your perfect weight if that's what you intend to have. So I've been kind of walking my talk and manifesting it, and that's been a cool experience.
Because it's like any manifestation. You are seeing yourself. You're accepting the now. I love me now. I'm perfect now, and you will be. It's like manifesting anything. If you think I want a car,
right?
Whatever, and you're embodying that, you will become it. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, I know, but that's an easy way to do it. Yeah, I shouldn't think about it. You see, we think about manifesting like a life or like other things, like material things. But I forget about that. I thought, oh my gosh, you just gave me an idea now. Yeah, it saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
You don't have to dance for specific all these massive workouts or something. Okay, wow. Yeah, because I mean, the menopause thing is like, and I stopped smoking after 40 years last year.
Congrats.
Wow, good job.
Wow. So yeah, and then I got 6. I gained a bit, and you know I've got to watch it, because you know the health story and everything else, especially around the stomach, muscles. They've linked muscles to dementia, to all kinds of things. Your muscle, skeletal muscles. So muscle mass or muscles are very important to a lot of illnesses. They've linked it to diseases and to Alzheimer's. So you want to keep, you know, you don't want this, because it affects hormones and rubbish, and you want to keep the muscles. So yeah, I didn't realize how important that is for the brain as well. So it's quite important to keep the muscle mass and muscles up. And, so I'm like, okay. I think we better. I don't know how long we've been on, but I think we've been on a while, girls.
Just a couple hours. Yeah, it's been really nice though.
Yeah, we've been on 2 hours almost. Shit, it is.
Thank you so much. It's been so fun.
I would love to do it again, because actually, funny enough, a lot of things you come up with is a lot of stuff I got and I saw it, because I was like you, going through that whole thing, and I did a lot. So many videos.
This is a huge activation for me. Like huge. This whole thing has been just a huge activation for me. There's going to be tons of calibrating after this for me. Like,
Crystal said they got kicked out.
Oh, okay.
But they're in the car.
Okay. Huh.
We were just wrapping up anyway, but
because I think we should wrap up, because there we are. Because we've been on quite a while here, but I mean, I'd like to do it again, only because it's really nice.
There she is.
It is very nice, because like you say, we learn. This is how we learn, and we can tap in and we get different information, and it's nice to co-create and to share, other people's stuff, because people don't often share or promote other people, and I found that very annoying. I see so many good people on here. because we've all got different things. I'm not doing what you're doing, and I wouldn't want to be. I'm me. I'm just, who knows? I got my ass dragged onto TikTok. I would never have come on. I was like, nah.
I'm glad you're here.
I got my ass dragged on here, and it's just, who knows? I don't go on. I don't feel like it. It's just, I just do whatever I'm guided to do. So, and I've seen a lot of people like you guys, and I followed you guys, and I said to people, because I share different things. I say, follow this person, follow that person, and listen to them, because we know people will be guided, and people will resonate with different people, because we're all unique parts of source. So not everyone's going to like me. Some people hate me. I mean, that they will find. So I'll say, oh, try them, and then follow that one, and people will just go as they're meant to. So it's nice to meet other people that you can connect with, and helps other people as well. Follow me. I can say, look, you might like that person. Go listen to them. Go follow them. We've all got something to contribute here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like this. I like this co-creating and sharing and helping and guiding, and it helps people
Very
as well.
grateful. Thank you.
We help each other and we help other people, and So yeah, I'd like to do it again, and I'm so nice to talk to you guys.
Yeah, thank you
even
so
if we
much.
have another
This is great.
Yes, thank you.
Share whatever's coming in or what's happening or the collective. It doesn't matter, It's just nice to interact with people, and it's nice to share, and nice to, So people, anyone else on your following, I'll upload this to YouTube anyway, and put links if anyone wants to share some of them I can't remember, but some of these videos I'll find, and I'll put links underneath if you want to go and look more detail on what happened on the
hear from me, make sure you just gotta click on their little face, these ones over here, and then up there to follow them. Make sure you are.
Yeah, I'll share you. What I'm going to do is when I upload it to my YouTube after this, because it should be in your things as well. I think you should be able to download. This live should save to your your replay thing. I uploaded people that miss. I uploaded to YouTube, and what I'll do is put the links to your TikTok channels under that as well. So people want to, because sometimes people want readings and stuff, so they can just go if they resonate and go to your channels, or whatever, follow you or whatever.
Thank you so much.
You're lovely, lady.
Thank you again.
All right, and thanks for coming on, guys.
Pleasure.
Thanks for watching. Anybody who's out there.
Yes, thanks, guys.
Okay, see you guys soon. Bye.
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 Bye.